Everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another collab. It's been, I don't know, I feel like the collabs are a bit more often, or a bit more recent I should say, a bit more common actually. I personally like these collabs. Last one was, when was it? 2 months ago. That was Devil May Cry collab rerun thing. That was pretty good. I really like these collabs, mostly just because they have unique skills, unique units, limited things that you can stack on top of the skills that we normally get on normal units. So anyways, I don't know much about this collab in general, like the units and the stuff, but I have played one Tales of game previously. If I get my Steam page up right now, well, if I can find it, I've played the Tales of game before, but none of those characters or anything are in this collab, which is kind of disappointing for me at least. But when I looked up how many games and stuff they have in this series, it's just way too many. If I could find the damn thing, or I could just start this stream, I don't know. Tales of Berseria is the one I played, there you go. 47 hours, I played it like a year ago, it was pretty good. But anyways, enough talking about that. Today we're going to be getting into part 1, so there's quite a few things to do here. This is probably going to be an over 2-hour stream because we have to cover both units, and there's also 2 arcs. I don't know why there's 2 arcs. Usually there's, if there is 2 units, there's only 1 arc, but I'm not complaining. Let's have a look at everything first. Since there's a lot more to cover, I don't want to take an incredibly long time talking about everything, but I'll try my best. So the first unit, I don't know how to say his name, so I'm probably not going to bother. Stahn, probably. I don't know much about this character at all, so I know probably some people are some fans of this game, but I personally don't know much. But let's get into these units anyway. I personally like this character because in the video he looked pretty good, so I'm looking forward to trying him out the most. But we'll try out both units. Stats seem pretty good. Seems like it's going to be a physical attacker with decent defense as well. So minus 30 to ice because he's going to be fire. So the last fire unit we got was Adele. He's kind of fire and light, but basically Adele was the last fire unit. But if you think about it, we don't really have that many fire units. There's Roy, Murren, and Adele. That's really it, I think. But having more fire units is always good because some elements we got way too many of. Weak to blind is whatever, really. Resistant to curse. No stun resistance, but at least it's not weak to stun because that'd be the worst thing you could have, probably. So his skills here, I think they're pretty good. At least when I looked at the videos, they look pretty damn good. So I'm looking forward to trying these out because I want to know how fast you can really spam these skills, because if you can just keep spamming these skills really fast, I think he's probably going to be one of the best DPS units. Arguably, that's what I think, because literally all of the skills look pretty fast. So, skill 1, frontal long range fire combo attacks. We've gotten quite a few of these units that have long range attacks for their skill 1, like Vayne and like Rain are the 2, because they're good in arena and you can just spam their S1. This unit might be another one that could do that, but I don't know. I kind of want to test it out, but I don't know if we'll have time for that in the stream, and I have to fully build them, so I probably won't be able to do that, but I'm going to try that anyway. Skill 2 seems like his fastest skill. We'll go over all of those later once we get to the unit showcase, but skill 2 is pretty fast. Whirlwind leap towards enemies is just random gibberish that talks about trying to explain a skill. You don't really need much words to explain what skill does if it's just a random combo attack. Wide area fire combo attack, really simple skill 3. It's not as wide as you would think, probably, but powerful fire combo attack to one enemy. I think he does have some special damage cap increases here in his skills and stuff, so I don't think it's going to be as good as Adele, because his special is pretty damn good. I kind of like it. It's not on the same level as Alice, but it's still pretty solid. So traits is interesting, because this trait 1 is kind of weird. It's difficult to understand it, really. When attacking with 5 physical attacks or specials, gain a Swordian device stock, whatever that means, we don't know yet. Gain more during boss waves, makes sense. Boost SD level and device skill effects based on SD stock gained. See, most of this stuff, I don't know what it actually means yet. I kind of have to test them out to really understand what all of this does, but we've got a lot of units more recently that have these kind of unique buffs that they can get. I'm kind of a fan of it, but at the same time, I mean, it kind of adds more strategy to it, kind of, because you get buffs and more interactive gameplay, I feel like. So, part of that is fun. Maximum SD level 6 and SD stock / level reset each wave, okay. So, I don't know what the SD stock is. I think I know what the SD level is. I think you probably increase the level, kind of like a, I don't know, Lena type unit that has similar thing. You use skills and it levels up and you get more stuff. Basically what it means. Trait 2 is a lot more simple, and I do kind of like this. It's a pretty good trait. When only one weapon is equipped is one sword, so he has to use one sword. He's going to be a single build unit, which is fine. We're getting a lot more single build DPS units. I don't know if you've realised that. Most people probably do, but we've got so many right now that are top tier units that are single build. It's pretty good. 5 physical damage, 80% is actually pretty good. 80% is a lot of damage for a trait. Usually we don't get 80%, it's usually like 40% or something, I think. Maybe for single build units it's higher than that, but 80% sounds pretty good. And you get 20,000 damage cap, which is also pretty good because it's always active all the time. And when a sword has fire attribute, so you have to use a fire sword to get 100% strength for that sword. So only that sword, basically that sword strength times 2, that's what it does. It doesn't really do much, really. If it was like a strength 100% buff, it would have been crazy, but it's just with the sword strength. Special damage 8% and special damage cap 12,000 more. It is pretty good, it's just adding damage cap. I just realised he's got plus 40 to earth resistance, so I kinda like that. That's pretty good. I wonder if he's got some survivability that could make him good in arena to kind of counter Vayne, because he's a problem. I'm seeing a lot of people use him. So let's go over to skills. A lot of stuff. Attack up max, fighting spirit max. Having both of these, pretty nice. Heroism up 2, guard. He does have some guard skills, so he does have a little bit of survivability, but I don't know about you, but I really like guard charge. In arena, when I'm using Vayne, this is very useful, because let's say the enemy uses Blizzard, and he's getting hit a bunch. He's going to get SCT every time he gets hit and he's guarding. I really like this skill. I'm starting to like it now, especially on units that have some guard skills already, because if you want to have every single guard skill on a unit, it's so much SC, so kind of got to be aware of that. That's why most DPS units won't have all guard skills. Well, you won't want to put them on because they're too expensive. But what I'm thinking so far is you could probably add a little bit more guard skills and make him a pretty good tank / DPS, because he's also got auto protection, which is pretty good. So I don't know how good he's going to be in arena, but maybe fire high drive. And I do realise that we don't really have that many fire drive skills on arks at the moment. One of the limited arks does have fire drive, I believe. Fire high drive is only on a arc that I don't have from the Full Metal Alchemist collab. I wish I had that, but it wasn't really worth going for just for that. I mean, it might have been. Fire attack raise 2 and 3 and critical raise. More damage cap here. Pretty good damage skills. Physical weak point boost. Now, there is another skill down here which increases damage cap when you're hitting a weak point, well, a weak attribute. So he's kind of limited to that in a sense, or he kind of needs some help with lowering resistance. If he had something like that in his kit, it would have been amazing. Pose of Victory piercing, I do like piercing, especially for arena, liking that a lot more. This is whatever, just more stats, favoured sword, more damage cap, double hander, even more damage cap when you have a sword. Double-handed boost 2, more damage cap, a lot of damage cap. I think his damage cap's pretty good. I haven't tested it, but I have done the event stages already. I found that for like an hour before the stream started, and there was one stage where it forced me to use the unit. I didn't want to use him because I wanted to wait for the stream, but it forced me to use it. And he was hitting around above about 84,000 damage cap, which is pretty strong. Sword high boost, armor high boost, HP, whatever, skill charge 1. Okay, you're being funny. Why are units having such good skill 1s recently? Having skill charge 1 kind of implies that his skill 1's going to be pretty good, and they kind of want you to use it. Like with Grain and Vayne, it's the same thing. Indomitable Spirit is very nice. Strategic Point, there you go. Physical attack and special damage cap, plus 5,000 to enemies in break. I like it, but at the same time I don't, because they have to be in break. But he has breaker. So I have no idea if he's going to be a good breaker, because most of the time a breaker unit has to have dual wield to double their hits to actually be a good breaker. We haven't really had a good breaker that's single wield before. I know there's probably some. I know his picture, but I don't know his name. You know, Lanceville, Shift Lanceville had some break. I know he did, but I don't think he was even a good breaker for a single wield. There aren't any single wield breakers really that are good, so I don't really have any hopes for some good break, but I'm hoping a little bit, but I am not expecting much. Yeah, I don't see any Slayers yet. Yeah, I don't think there's any Slayers, which is kind of sad, but maybe he doesn't need them. Maybe. We'll see. Because Lagrange doesn't have any Slayers, but he does good damage anyway. When only one weapon is equipped, physical attack break plus 150%. See, this sounds pretty good, but does that make up for the fact that he's single wield? And what is his break values? I don't know. We'll have to try out a little bit later on. Giant Killing 2, I like it. Now, these unique skills down here are pretty interesting. So, we've got something like this before. Boost fire damage and damage cap based on SD level. Actually, that's not what I was thinking. Based on SD level, maximum 50% and 10,000 damage cap. So, when you use skills, you have a chance to get a level which increases your damage and damage cap. Not bad. It's pretty good. But it's conditional, but I like it anyways. It's good. Whenever boosting SD level, restore 1 SCT stock for 1 skill. Very nice to have. I wish it was all skill stocks, but whatever. All skills. When physically attacking, boost break based on SD level. Okay, so you got plus 300% break. Sounds incredibly strong, but I don't know. Because 300% of 0 is still 0. That's the problem. Or 300% of 1 is not going to be much compared to someone that has a lot of break anyway. Battlestar Autocast Brazen 4, pretty good. And this is the one I was talking about earlier. When only one weapon equipped is 1 sword and hitting an attribute weakness with a fire physical attack. Very specific. Damage cap 20,000. So kind of hard to hit. Enemies weak element, which is he's a fire attribute DPS, so he's kind of limited to only being able to be used against enemies that are weak to fire, which is... it's a problem, yeah, because that means you can't use the unit anyway, but when you can use him against enemies that are weak to fire, he's going to be very good. So, what is SD stock? Because I know what SD level is. SD level... SD level... SD level. Okay, we'll figure out more with him later on. That's the plan. But so far he looks pretty good because he has some pretty good damage skills, but the only problem is he doesn't have any Slayers, so he has the potential to be good, I can see that, but he has no Slayers, so he needs to hit good damage but his skills are incredibly fast. So I think he's going to be good. I do want this unit the most out of this part 1 collab. But let's go to the next unit, because we've already been here for 15 minutes. So this is Luke, I can say that name. Pretty good stats, he's got higher defense than the other unit. Nil to stun, I love it, but he's got curse weakness, which is a problem. He needs something to help out his curse resistance, because if you're using him in arena, but I don't know if he's going to be good in arena, but if you are using him in arena, he's probably going to get cursed and won't be able to use any skills at all, so think about that. Plus 30 light resistance, minus 20 dark. Okay. Attribute resistance, okay. Skills. His skills aren't as fast as the other unit, but they look okay. The hit counts of Luke's skills are lower than the other unit by a little bit. Instantly close the gap. Skill 1 is very nice to have. The other unit didn't have an instant close the gap skill, so he might need speed, because you either need a close the gap skill or speed, one of the two, because otherwise you're wasting time running or walking very slowly if you don't have any speed. Skill 2 is interesting because it does heal everyone excluding the unit. I don't know what to think about that, really. It's a wide light attack around the unit and it heals everyone else. I can see it being useful, but for damage it's probably not going to be as useful, I guess. But for helping a team, that could be good, and maybe if you have Spirit Breath on other units, then they'll get more SCT from that too, so I think it's good. And then skill 3, just again, wide area light combo attack. Nothing much to say about that. Special is more interesting. I don't know why they wasted time to do this, but if you read this special, deal a light attack to all enemies, right, that's fine. Then you deal a light attack to a target enemy, and then a powerful light combo attack to all enemies. What is the point of this? Because you could just do light attack to all enemies and you're done. You can't just do, oh, you do attack to all enemies, then you do it to one enemy, and then you do it to all enemies again. It's a waste of time writing all that down when you could just make the special attack all enemies in every single hit, you know? It's weird that they would do that, because it just feels like a waste of time, you know? So traits is it's even stranger because he's got the longest traits I've ever seen and one of the shortest traits too. Light damage 40%, damage cap 12,000. He is going to be a dual wield unit, so the fact that he's got 12,000 damage cap is actually amazing on a trait for a dual wield unit, really good. Continuous fort and protection effects, good. When taking physical attacks, chance to nullify damage taken. I do like it. Now, the complicated trait 2, I'm going to read it anyway, but it's not going to make sense. It doesn't really make sense. When using a skill, let's just say it's the same as the other unit. You use a skill, fill the gauge, give unit gauge buff based on amount of filled gauge, max level 1. Okay, it's kind of similar. Here's the interesting thing: when unit or allies are actually attacking with a skill or magic, chance to give units FOF buff of the attributes. No idea what that means, but we'll go with it. Boost chance based on trait level when given FOF buff. Deal a powerful extra attack of the attribute when the next skill is used. Basically, it's just a lot of stuff happening with a lot of words that I don't understand. Let's go with that. There you go, over limits. When using a skill, can't be interrupted by most attacks. The problem with this is, I think, since it's castable, you have to use it. Wait, I think I get it now. Basically, you're filling up your gauge by using skills, and then you use this when you have level 1 gauge, and then it's going to give the buff that's going to make it so you have super armor basically, so it can't be interrupted by most attacks. Makes sense, but it's just a bit of a lot of words to understand. Probably don't I'll just say don't worry about it. If when you're using him, just don't worry. You just use the unit, you'll figure it out. This is the best way. Flying Spirits 4, Heroism up 3, Critical up 1 and 3, Last Name Vitals, Proud Force. Some nice crit skills. Soldier Mastery. Anti-sniper effect is okay. Curse Kneel. Okay. I can wait. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying out both units. I've heard they're both pretty fun and both pretty good, and I expected that because their videos look pretty good. Curse Kneel is pretty good actually. It kind of solves the problem of Curse, I think. Auto Critical, Awaken 2, Pride 2, very nice. Silver Lining, max HP, more skill damage, great. Light High Drive and Mega Drive, very nice. Attack Raise 3. Spirit Breath, good skills. Holy Aura, Meteor Force is regular attacks. Why would you use a regular attack? I mean, for the, you know, Goddess Kiss, MP, useful. Extra attack damage 50%. It's good, it's pretty good. Extra attack boost, I like it. Maybe a critical build unit, I don't know. Extra attack boost 2, really? Okay, I don't know about, you get 50% extra attack damage, and then you get 10% more and 20% more. And this applies for dual wield hits too. This sounds pretty good, not gonna lie. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, that could be good Icy Guardian, I can see that. Dual wields, sword boost, mega boost. Ultimate boost 3, Combo Master 2, Cloak of Majesty. Very nice. Then you've got these skills that I was thinking of earlier. Skill damage 10% damage cap 2000. When other chamber skills are not set, then you get 30% damage and 8000 damage cap instead. So ideally you want to have only one of these set to have the maximum bonus. So if you want maximum damage, you just have this set and you ignore the other two, which I'm going to do that 100%, probably, maybe. This one is crit rate and damage, ST recovery speed and movement speed. Okay. Well, I personally feel like I would have this active and remove these two, because then you get 6000 more damage cap and 20% more skill damage. Why would you not do that? Because then you got more damage potential. This is what I'm gonna do, I think. Recall, an HP hit 0, auto revive and further restore HP. This is basically a revive that's gonna stack with decoy. Very good. I love stackable revives because you could have even more revives on a unit for arena. That's the only reason really, but I think they're great. Whenever an ally is incapacitated, physical attack damage cap 1000. Okay, well, kind of situational, because you're not going to want to kill your allies on purpose to get this. It's kind of a bonus, think of it like that. But if nobody dies, this is doing nothing. So I don't know what to think about this skill, but just think of it as a bonus. That's it. So he also seems pretty good, but at the same time, both of these units don't really have any slayers. Luke has one slayer, which is Sniper Slayer. Stahn, I'm just gonna call him Stahn. He kind of sounds like Stahn. It's not. He has no slayers at all, but they both look like they have a lot of damage. So I can see some potential here. I definitely can, because stacking a lot of damage is just very helpful to hit damage cap in boss stages and stuff, but also in arena makes it even better. Just, it can be really strong in arena if you can stack every single damage possible, and they have even more damage skills. I think it's good. So there are the two units. I think they're both solid, not gonna lie. And we get to trade for one of them too. I'm gonna go over that soon. I won't talk about that yet, but I think they look pretty good. Now let's go over the arcs. This won't take as long, but personally, I want both of them. But let's have a look. Trait has a lot of words for a trait. Usually it's less than this. For every living ally with a sword equipped other than the unit, then you get 10% physical damage, maximum 30%. It's okay. Here's the thing. I could see this trait being pretty decent. Here's why. Let me just read it first. When reviving an ally with active skills, give that ally undead type. For whatever reason. Makes sense. Strengthen ints plus 30% buff once per wave. Okay. When only one weapon is equipped as one sword, damage to guarding enemies 50%. Damage cap to non-guarding enemies 2000. So I like this trait. Reason being, you get 10% more damage. Well, I can see that being a problem, because that means you have to have every unit in your team to have a sword equipped, which in arena you're probably not going to have. Definitely not. So that's kind of a problem. And if that unit is the only unit that has a sword, then it's basically doing nothing. So it's a bit of a problem, but if you ignore that part, 50% damage to guarding enemies sounds pretty good. Yeah, I'm glad people are showing up. I really am, because I enjoy these streams. Yeah, if anyone's have any problems with the game crashing, they made a post and they're going to try and fix it over the next few days, but my current phone can't run the game, but my older phone and my emulator can run the game. It's only certain devices, so you can't really do much about that. You gotta wait until they fix it, or try and run the game on Steam or somewhere else. So, in my opinion, 50% damage to guarding enemies sounds pretty strong, but that could be good for arena. But 2000 damage cap to non-guarding enemies is basically every single enemy in adventure, story, hard stages ever, literally. So I like this trait. The skills, skill stock 2, fire drive is the first time we've seen fire drive on a arc, so that's very good. I love it. Sword equip, so whatever, Swordian Might is amazing. When only weapon equipped is one sword, so you have to have one sword, and it has to be the same attribute as the equipped weapon. You get 13% attack damage. This is an amazing skill, because you probably understand why. It's basically giving 50% more attack damage for 5SC, which is pretty strong. Yeah, I'm using a OnePlus, what is it now? I don't know what number it is. I'm using a OnePlus 10 Pro, and it doesn't work because it's a newer device. But my OnePlus, whatever older OnePlus phone is working because it's older and doesn't have Android 12. But I've heard someone that has Android 12 and it works for them, so I think it's only specific devices, which is unfortunate. Sword high boost, and now we will end the battle. I don't really care about this skill, because 40 seconds after battle start, give damage dealt plus 20% buff. I wouldn't use this. I wouldn't use this because 40 seconds after battle start. If it was the opposite and it gave a unique buff for 20% damage for the first 40 seconds of battle, I would have loved that, but since it requires you to wait 40 seconds, I don't care about the skill. But Swordian Might is amazing because it's going to stack, and you can use this on Adele, and it's going to give him even more damage if you want, or you can use this on one of the units, like the single-wheeled fire unit that we got, Stahn. Go away, I don't care about stupid bots in the thing. Well, Nightbot takes care of that. So, in conclusion, I really like... There you go. I don't know. Don't question me. It's probably internet problems. Anyway, I blame the bot for that. This is exactly what I blame. We're fine. This sword, I personally don't think it's the best sword ever because it's only 10% damage, and we have swords like Muramasa that gives 25% damage to physical attacks, so it's an okay sword, but I think the main thing about this arc is the trait and the skills you're getting for it. I like this arc, so I want to get this arc the most. And we've also got this arc. See, the problem is, since it said reconnecting, my stream no longer tells me how long I've been streaming for. Now it went back to 0. So that's really disappointing, but whatever. So, this arc, I don't know how much I think about this one, but it still has some useful skills here. When an ally uses attribute, attack, magic, give damage 30% buff for the next skill of that attribute used. I feel like this is the opposite of what you want. This is stupid. Who invented this? Who even thought this was a good idea? Because if you're using a mage and they get this buff for skills that they are not using, what is the point? There is no point. I mean, well, on my end it says 1 minute 45 seconds because it said reconnecting, probably because of the stupid bot showed up. I've seen other people's streams, they have the same problems with bots. It's a YouTube thing, it's a big problem, I know. Nobody can really do much about it, they just show up randomly because, I don't know, people hate them. Everyone hates them. But this trait here, 30% buff for the next skill of that attribute, is completely useless, or at least it could be useful in the future, but for right now it's only useful for like Lagravos for his non-attribute skill 3, which it kind of forces you to have a unit that can use both magic and skills. Continuous haste is actually amazing because there's a lot of SC. Whenever using a special, all attribute damage 5%, damage taken minus 5%, maximum of 15%. So that's basically telling you that you need to use it 3 times, use a special 3 times. Yeah, I don't really care about this trait. But the skills, armor, blind resist, that's interesting. For 3 SC you're getting +1 to blind resistance if you have an armor, that's pretty good. Soldier killers, whatever, fast holy walls, whatever. On boss weighs strength and defense 7% for 5 SC. I don't know about that. It's 5 SC for some 7% stats, I don't think that's very good. Giant killing, we've gotten before. Now here's the skill that I want. Here's the only reason I want this arc. Is this skill, because it's 9 SC is pretty expensive, but it gives anti-type effect damage plus 20%. So this is going to stack on top of, you know, the other special boost and other skills that we got that increase damage and slayer damage. This is going to stack on top of that, and also anti-type damage taken minus 10%. This is a very good skill because it's going to stack. So that's why I kind of want it, but it's not as good as the other arc in my opinion. And the trait is kind of... Actually, I can see that being... Yeah, that makes more sense now. Yeah, but the problem is, it's kind of... It's not that good because I know it's 30%, but we have arcs that give like 30% or 40% damage all the time, right? And all that's happening here is you get a 30% damage for that attribute that happens once for one skill. Where have we seen this before? On a UR arc that gives much more damage than that. It gives 40% damage for the first few skills. Yeah, I still don't really like this trait. I'm not going to really use it for the trait. Mostly the skills and whatever this is. Battle start, give barrier that nullifies basic stats ailments 3 times. Permanent effect. This could be good in arena potentially, or any stage that inflicts a lot of ailments. So it's not bad. So those are both arcs and both units. So we'll go over to the training space in a minute, but what I think so far, at least what I can see, in my opinion, I think both of these units have potential to be good. I don't know if one's better than the other yet, I can't really say, but Stahn is going to be pretty good DPS if you're hitting enemies. If you're hitting enemies that are weak to fire, he's going to be amazing, and probably one of the best fire, well, one of the best DPS units. Which unit am I going for? Well, I haven't told anyone yet, but my plan... My cat's trying to get in. My plan is to be very smart, and I'm going to do summons and use tickets first. Once I get one unit, I'm going to use this trade ticket for the other unit that I don't get once I've finished all my summons. So if we get lucky and we get both units, then I'm just going to trade and get a duplicate of one of the units that I want more than the other one. But if we only pull one of the units, I can trade for the other one, so I recommend most people do that. 5 Mega Drive. Doesn't he have that already though? I thought he did. Fire High Drive. Okay. 5 Mega Drive would be good for him then. This unit has Light Mega Drive, right? Yeah, okay. Makes sense. Well, you would think it's a random ticket, but they don't make it easy to understand. It's a ticket, and I believe, yeah, it's a ticket. Actually, you can't select because it's a different ticket from the ticket that I'm thinking of that we get, right? There's 2 tickets with basically the same name, isn't there? There's this ticket I was thinking of, but this is a different color, so it can't be the same ticket. Can it? No, because the other one's blue. This one's for the step gacha, right? In that case, it doesn't matter. Whatever I said doesn't matter at all, does it? I just gotta hope on luck, don't I? Yeah. Yeah, well, can't blame me for them making it stupid. Having a ticket as an exchange material, I still don't understand why they do that. They should have it as a different exchange material, just like a unit icon, just not a ticket, because a ticket is something you use, but it's also a material that you exchange with. Well, let's just receive this. I guess we're gonna use it and get who we get. I guess we're gonna have to rely more on luck today then than I was hoping for, but let's collect all of this stuff, and I'll have a look at paid equipment and stuff in a minute, and we'll get to summons soon. What I'm really hoping for is to get both units and both arcs, but will that happen? Not sure. I have 15 Part 1 tickets to use. Yeah, I really need the luck. Well, I always do. I know other people need it too, but hopefully there's enough luck going around. Or maybe I've used it all already. So trading space, I've already done the event. It doesn't have a trading space because it's a event thing, summon, whatever you call it. The chest, you get random stuff in it. If it connects, I could show you, but it likes to take time or crash the game for no reason. Yeah, the Ether coin chance box. I've done some of this already. Just do it, because you might as well. It's got good stuff in it. Just do it. I think the music's playing up a little bit. Because the emulator isn't that good. Or at least maybe I need a better computer. It's fine. So let's look at paid equipment as a lot of paid equipment. I don't want to get all of it. I really don't. Because that would be too much. But if they're good enough, maybe. So, the sword for Stahn. It's fire attribute sword as expected. When only one weapon is equipped, break 100% and fire attack damage 20%, damage cap 3000. I really like that. Now, yeah, this is probably his best in slot sword for sure. So for that reason, I'm probably going to get it 100%. I like that sword. I can't really say more about that because it's good. Now his armor, continuous haste, pretty nice. Physical attack damage taken minus 10%, nullify criticals. Oh god. Okay, so here's the thing. It says nullify criticals. You know what this means is he can't take crit damage. And I don't know about you, but that's incredibly useful. Because, you know the arc we've got that makes it so you can't take crits? It's basically that. I don't know if it means it changes crits to 0 damage taken, or if it just means you can't take crit damage, so you only take normal hits, and you're never going to get hit by a crit. But if it means that every time you take crit damage, it's 0 damage, this is incredibly good. So, I think this is I don't know if it's a problem, but if he's good in arena and does a lot of damage, then yes, it is a problem. So, that's a difficult one. A good armor and a good sword. I think I'm going to get both of those, so it's going to be expensive, but we'll see. So, Luke's light sword. Continuous Grand Brave. Okay, you already sold me on that one. Light physical attack damage 10% and damage cap 1500. It's pretty good. I can't complain about that. It's good. Another sword that I want, but would I get it because it's going to take so many paid crystals? I don't know. At this point, we're looking at 75 paid summons, which is just too many. Tell me his accessory is not worth getting, so I can not get it. Hopefully. So, physical and magical attack damage taken minus 10%. That's pretty good for an accessory. Chance for special to deal critical damage. There you go. A useless accessory that I don't want to get. There you go. Well, it's not that useless, but I don't care about specials critting. This really doesn't really do much. I mean, potentially if you have like Icy Guardian or something, maybe that could apply to specials to do extra attacks and be even stronger. That could be good. I mean, but I don't want to say too much about them yet because I kind of want to test them, but I can see that being good, yeah. Because Trishula is light, he can benefit from Trishula and still have the normal attacks being incredibly strong because he's light. Yeah, I can see some good things going on here. I'm already liking both of these units. We'll try him out later. His super armor, I've really got to have a look at what his super armor is really like, because I think his super armor is not active all the time. I think you have to use a bunch of skills first, build that up that gauge, and then use the over limit buff to get super armor, I believe. That's what it seems like. And that makes sense. It does make sense, but we're gonna have to see how that is. So here's my plan. Here's what I think of this paid equipment. I think these top 3 are the best ones to get. Definitely. Any of these 3 goods, depending on who you get. And if you have enough credentials, get one of these 3, depending on what you need on your account, what you don't have. Personally, I really like this sword. If he's a good breaker, it's going to make it even better. Also, his armor is just as good as a sword, actually. If you're using him for arena as a hybrid tank slash DPS, if it's as good as I think, it could be really good. If not, then it's okay. Yeah, Goddess Kiss, he's gonna be a good Goddess Kiss MP unit for sure, 100%. And for that reason, he's gonna be good with Honey Elixir and Apple Pie and things like that. You could even, if you wanted to, you could put Goddess Kiss on him and focus on his normal attacks and make him like a support with a bunch of debuffs and buffs. That's just an idea, but I don't think anyone even does that. Anyway, paid equipment very good. I like the top 3. I think I'm going to go for the top 3 because I like them and they seem very good. So, what should I do now? Well, probably do summons right now, right? But I'm a bit worried. Step Gacha gives you a ticket to trade for one of these 2 units guaranteed. Now, that means you could get both units if you do the Holo Step Gacha. I was really hoping the ticket to be a select ticket, but it's one of these tickets. And the other ticket I was looking at was a select ticket that you get from Step Gacha, so that makes sense. Let's use these tickets first, and we'll get a unit here, and we will hope that we get lucky here, because I'm looking to get everything from this banner. It's possible that we can get everything, but if we don't, if we get unlucky, then we could miss one arc or something. It depends. But let's use tickets first. I'm going to use the 6 first, and then the temple, and then the unit ticket. So, the good thing about part 1 is there's 4 rate up things. It's rare that that happens. I think each unit and arc is at a 0.8%, so in total it's about a 3.2% chance to get one of the rate up units or arcs. And I did the calculations the other day, and I think that means on average you would get one new rate up thing every 30 summons, or 31 summons or something. I got these tickets because I farmed the events and collected everything. I did that before the stream started because I didn't want to waste time doing that. Come on, give me a red in this temple at least. 3 is by herself. I don't think this is going to be it. Getting anything from a ticket is going to be lucky, but hopefully today we can get everything we need, everything we want, but nah, not enough animations. Not even one animation is going to cut it. Those are just the tickets. We still get more tickets, but I pretty much used every single part 1 ticket I've got. So now let's use the guaranteed unit ticket. I mean, we're going to get both units anyway today, but I'm hoping today is not filled with dupes, and I'm hoping today is not filled with non-rate up things. We know this is going to be a unit, so I don't really need to watch this, but I am anyway because I like seeing it. So I personally want Stahn first, but I want both of them anyway, so it doesn't matter. There you go, there's one unit. I can't be excited about this because it was guaranteed, but there you go. I can't tell if one unit's better than the other, they both seem good. So, that's that. There's one unit down. We've got 3 things left to get. So the problem with this, I got no more tickets, and now it's just crystals. I have enough to get everything, but I really do not want to use all my crystals. Worst case scenario, I do 3 laps of the step gacha and get the guaranteed ticket to trade for the other unit, and then I have to pity one of the arcs, and that in total that's like 200 summons plus paid crystals, so I'm hoping it doesn't happen. I'm hoping we get at least one of the arcs, or both. Ideally both. Because I want both anyway, there's going to be nothing. Yep. I've seen people get lucky already. Those people need to give me their luck. They really do. Because I'm sure most people would probably want to see me test out the units more than actually summoning. Actually, I know they don't. People like seeing me summon, but getting the summons out of the way so we can... This is a blue. This is probably not going to be anything, so I'm going to skip this one. Haven't got any reds yet, which is sad. Very sad. So my plan is to get 75 credentials from paid crystals, and then we'll see. Come on, I need some reds and not dupes. This is bad. This is gold, but it's not good enough. You're wasting my time on these animations, or are you? It's a unit, but how much do you want to bet it's either a non-rate up or the unit that we got already? 90% sure. It's one of those. And it is. Never mind. That's pretty good. That's pretty good then, isn't it? It's pretty good. Well, we've got both units, so we could stop, but... No, because I need the arcs right now. Okay, well, we don't have to worry about getting the units anymore, because we got those already. I was pretty lucky that it was the unit that I didn't have. Now we just need both arcs. Imagine getting both arcs in one temple. Imagine getting all 4 things in one temple. That would never happen. It's a gold. I've been trolled before. I had a Thuria showed up and it was gold. Everyone else came too, and there was still no reds. So let's hope we don't have to do too many summons, because I would really like the arcs. Both of them. 1 red or 2 or something new. Nope. Not so nope. 2 arcs though. Well, I'm gonna just keep an eye on how many summons we're doing, because I only want to do 75 with paid crystals, and then we're stopping and using free crystals. I don't know how many we've done, like 20. Yeah, this is gonna be a while, isn't it? Damn. Well, come on, limited arcs, please. I need them, because they're pretty good. Can a red show up right here at some point? Limited arcs have the same rate up as the units. So, there's a red. It's only 1. Sad. That's not bad actually, but it's could have been an arc. Could have been an arc because it was rate up units, but I'm not going to complain about that at all. At all, really. Dupes are okay, but not when I'm starting to lose hope of arcs, but I'm not at that point yet. We'll get there soon. Hopefully not. Come on, limited arcs. There are 2 of them in this banner. For what reason, I don't know. There's nobody here. There's a skip. There's no reds here. There is a red. I did not expect that. There's still another dupe. We've gotten 3 arcs and they weren't right up. That's terrible. It's terrible. How many have we done? I usually don't really count while we're doing them. I just check. We've got 41, so we need to do 3 more 10 pulls with paid crystals. 3 more. And then 4 singles. Okay. Can I get... I think what might happen... Because here's the problem, is if I don't get one of the limited arcs, and I pity one, that means I'm missing the other one, and I am not doing 400 summons just to pity 2 limited arcs. Because... that is stupid. 2 animations, there is a red, no extra animation, which is fine, I guess. There's only 1 red, which is at the bottom. There's another dupe of an arc that I hate so much, because I've seen it so many times in my life already. We've gotten so many arcs, and none of them are limited arcs. Man, I'm really hoping we get some of the arcs. I at least want 1, but both would be nice. Come on. It's a blue, it's not good, it's bad. At least we don't have to worry about pitting our units, but there's no reds in this pool. For whatever reason, I don't know, I can't explain that one to you. I think we need to do 1 more temple with paid crystals, and then we're done with paid crystals. We don't have to touch them ever again for part 1. Anyway. So, this temple, I have about 110,000 free crystals because I've been doing some story and stuff. Oh, skip. It's the worst temple ever. Okay, that's the last temple. 4 paid crystals. We do 4 singles with paid crystals, then we'll be done with paid crystals. Then we'll have all the equipment we need. And then the rest will be free crystals from now. And I'm hoping we get both arcs really soon, because right now it's just looking like it's not very good for me, is it? I'm just going to skip these, not going to waste time. 1, 2... Unless a Theria shows up with not that. Just blues. Great. Really good. Amazing. No arcs. You're really funny, aren't you? I said arcs, and you gave me an arc, but it's not really the same thing that I was talking about, was it? No. You should clarify what I'm asking for, and maybe it'll give it to me. So, 95, that's fine. And 84. I want Ultra Kronos the most, but I want both. So we're going to hope in the next 120 pulls we at least pull 1 arc, and then we'll be able to pity the other one if it's necessary. But I really don't want that to happen, because I need crystals for the next banner in part 2. Because part 2 might be good. It's a blue, this one's looking bad. This one's looking terrible. There's not going to be any reds in this banner, I'm most likely to press skip button right now. Maybe, as expected. Yeah, because I know Twigs and Buddha are not currently streaming or anything, because they're doing their own thing with Summoner's War and having break and whatever. Don't troll me again. Limited arc. Nope. Terrible. Okay. We're getting desperate. This is disappointing. I am not happy. Unless you give me a limited arc. Both of them. Because there. This isn't also not gonna give anything good, I think. Yeah, our luck has gotten worse. Oh. No. I've gotten this arc twice in the summons that we've done. Really? Yeah, I've got both units. That was pretty early, actually. I did the guaranteed unit ticket, and I also did Step Gacha and got the unit from the Step Gacha, but I was least worried about the units. I was more worried about the arcs, and I should be, because I'm not getting any. And if we reach the 200 summons and don't get an arc, I'm gonna be really sad, because that means I'm not gonna be able to get both. And our luck is worse. We don't have any luck this time. There's no reds in this temple. This is terrible. I'm gonna skip the next temple. Or maybe I should do singles. I don't know. I need both arcs, really. I mean, I don't. It's just I like having them. Yeah. Well, no. The problem is that if I do 200 summons and pity one arc, I still don't have the other one. So in that case, oh come on. Okay, whatever. I mean, I don't want it because I would rather trade it for the arc. Oh, this is dumb. Yeah, I want the Kronos arc more. That's the one I want right now. But I think the Kronos arc is better. Come on. This is dumb. I don't know what to say, but other than how have we not gotten one yet? Because we've done so many summons and we're getting close to the 200 mark and I still don't have one. And it's concerning because that means I can't get two. Unless I spend a lot, which I don't want to do. And why am I doing singles, you ask? I don't know, I feel like it's, I don't know, comforting to know that I'm not spending everything really fast at the same time. Yeah, I know, it's painful, but what can you do? Nope, too many blues. Be red right now. This single's gonna give me nothing. I mean, sometimes my luck is okay, but in this case it's not. I've been pretty lucky previously, but this is not one of those cases. See, look, look, look. It's dumb. I can't say. See, look at that. Another red. Nothing. No arc at all. Look, this one's no red. See, it's terrible. I know. I'm not getting anything new at this point, and even if I get something new, it's not guaranteed to be the limited arcs because I'm still missing some SSRs. I'm using emulator because I need to use emulator to be able to access my paid crystals. This one, blue, amazing. Okay, I don't like how this is going. I really don't, because I need more crystals. Really? Okay, well, 3 more singles and we'll do 4 more 10 pulls and what do I do? What am I supposed to do? Because if I pity one, I'm not pitying two. See, look, another red, and there's another dupe of stupid. I don't like him anymore. I don't. Oh, bleh. Bleh. It, it's ridiculous. I know, what do I can't, give me arcs, please. Not permanent arcs, the limited ones. You know what I mean, game. You know. Man. Gachas, right? Ridiculous. Very painful. Come on, I'm hovering over the skip button to press it. Okay. It's a permanent arc. But are there two reds? Two reds. One. Ridiculous. Even gave the arc animation and everything, but meant nothing. Okay. Skip. Red. Limited. No. Okay. I can't deal with this though, really. I can't. I can't. I can't. I'm just gonna go. I need an arc. I need it. I need one of them now. Give me one. An arc that's limited. There you go, thanks. I think we're done now, I think we're finished. There you go. I think we're finished. I think we've got everything. Oh, okay. Well, I guess it was okay. I got many dupes, so that's not the worst thing that can happen, but jeez. Yeah, there you go. That's perfect. 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 There you go. I'm getting the right one, yeah? Yes, I am. It's telling me. Perfect. That was actually not bad. It was. But I'm so glad we didn't have to go above 200 summons. Yeah, there's a problem right now with the game that on certain devices the game isn't working. They're trying to work on a fix for it in the next few days, but you're going to have to use a different device or a Steam version or something for the moment, if possible, or just wait. It's really unfortunate because I can't use my main device right now. I can't use my phone, I have to use my old phone, and it's sad, but anyways, this is a first for me. I have done the summons, I've finished the summons, and we're only 37 minutes into the stream. Usually it's like an hour or so into the stream, so that's pretty good. Let's start showcasing both units. Now, how am I going to do this? Good question, I don't know. I'm going to focus on one unit at a time. So how many dupes did we get from that? He's at +4. He's at +6. I mean, I'm not complaining, but whatever. It's okay, it's fine. Duplicates are okay, I think. You can get more of these. You can get 3 of these from the event. That means he'll be at +12, which is he'll be at +10 as well. That's good. Okay. There's a lot to do now. What do I do first? Well, I'm gonna do training space first. We're gonna get the paid equipment that I think are good. This one, get it, because it's good. Really good. And this one, nullify criticals. Amazing. You need that as well. At least I do. This sword is continuous ground brave. Is pretty good. And don't get this accessory unless you have the credentials already. I'm gonna get it. There you go, we're done. Now we don't need to spend anymore, but there's a problem, and that is that I don't have enough paid crystals to pity part 2 in case, so I'm gonna have to buy more. Okay, I'm gonna switch over to the Steam version because that's faster, and I'm completely done with this emulator for the stream, and we don't need to touch it anymore. There you go. Where I should have. Where is it? There you are. Open Steam. It's gonna look much better now. And we'll be able to try out both units really soon. Why are you over there? I don't know why it resizes it sometimes. You are gonna size fit screen. Perfect. There you go. I do like these wallpapers. They're always pretty cool. So my plan is to test out both units at 5th Enhance. I do have enough materials to get them both to 5th Enhance, but that would probably require me to get them to use 2 Rainbow Potions. I don't know if I really want to do that, but I might try to see if I get enough XP from... I don't think I can, actually. I think I will have to use 2 Rainbow Potions. Sad. I wish I didn't. Okay, let's focus on 1 unit at a time. And we've also got the arks to level up to. So, I can't actually do everything because I'm not going to be able to level up both arks to level 10. I'll probably upgrade Ultra Kronos first. Let's go to this team and I'm going to focus on 1 unit first. The first unit I'm going to try is the first unit that we got. We're going to get him to 4th Enhanced, learn everything, and then we'll try out the other unit. And we'll keep going back and forth in between units and try them out, because I think that'd be good. Do I even need to enhance? Because I can just use a Rainbow Potion. Probably not. I could use a Crimson Potion and stuff. I'm gonna just use it. I don't like using these because they're rare. It's painful. 585 XP. Very nice. Okay, so I'm gonna learn everything. What ward do you have? Not very good. I like seeing damage cap on wards because it stacks. Because if you get 10 wards, it basically gives 1000 damage cap. If they stack. Pretty good. So, I am not going to be able to fully build both units. That would take too long. But we'll still try them out. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do with their skills and everything. And their potential builds. I have a few ideas at the moment. I think Stahn's damage cap's going to be pretty high, but not as high as Adele. But it's still pretty good. It's like between 80 and 90,000 damage cap, and that's on the high side. Really is. So I have been farming a little bit of materials over the past few days, but what I've mostly been doing is I haven't had a lot of time to do much, so I've just been focusing on doing work and playing on too much Pokemon. It's a problem. It really is. But I was looking forward to this collab. Just trying out new units is probably the most fun thing in this game, at least for me. I have no idea what the next unit's going to be in terms of their damage and skills and stuff, but looking at his soul icon, it's green, so I think it's going to be an Earth DPS or something. His special in the video looked like it was kind of like a support buff special and did a little bit of damage. Kind of like Sarah's special in a way. So you should really think about where you want to spend your crystals, because there's part 1 and part 2, but what I personally think, part 1 has 2 units and 2 arcs in, you're more likely to get something new. So, it's up to you really, but I would probably use the ticket first, and then maybe do a few pulls, and if you get something new, you stop there. And then save part 2, because that's usually a good idea. If you remember the Persona collab, part 1 gave us a guaranteed ticket to get one of the units randomly from part 1, kind of the same as this collab. And then part 2 didn't have any guaranteed unit tickets, but there were still 2 units in there. Those 2 units in part 2 were not better than the units in part 1. The part 2 units weren't like overpowered or anything. Arguably Joker was the best one in that collab, so it doesn't mean that the part 2 in this collab is going to be guaranteed to be stronger than the part 1 units, but it's possible. Where's the last damn one that I'm missing? It's probably just a stat thing that's bothering me. I wish there was an unlock all button, because I can't see. There's too many. Yeah, this has got a lock on it. It's difficult to see. See, this is much clearer to see when it's got that around it. There you go. I think I'm going to be able to build these 2 units pretty well, since I've got a lot of SC. So, I'm not going to do that yet. Yeah, here's the thing that I was interested, I don't know what I think, but this unit is fire, the other unit is light, Adele is both fire and light, so what are they doing? Why are they doing this? They're releasing a fire and light unit, but after Adele, it's kind of a big thing to live up to, you know, expectations are high, because we already have Adele, and both of these units are basically Adele's attributes. So, I can see that being a problem, yeah, because Adele is really good. His damage cap is ridiculously high. It's the highest damage cap in the game for single wheel DPS. And his DPS is pretty high because his skill 1 is very good too. So, these 2 units have to be pretty good to be able to compete against Adele. I understand that, but I think, I don't know, I'm trying to come up with an excuse that says, oh, they're different, but it's difficult to say that really, because they're pretty similar. I mean, Adele can do both elements, but let's say this guy, I know the main difference is that he has faster skills, but he doesn't have a close the gap skill, so it's a problem. Let's have a look at equipment. Any recommended equipment? Well, the problem is you can only equip a sword and armor, and that's it. So you're limited on choices. Obviously I'm going to have his paid sword, but you don't need it. There are other good options, like you probably need a fire attribute sword, because I think his traits, one of his traits requires that, doesn't it? For special damage. Yeah, this one, when sword has fire attribute, you get more special damage and sword strength. So you kind of need that. But if you don't have one, you can always go for a Muramasa or something that you got. Yeah, I think he has a lot of break, but the problem is he needs to have good break values first. So I'm going to test that in a little bit. I'll test that in a bit. The best sword option, if you don't have his paid, is going to be Kagu Suchi. That's going to be incredibly strong on him. But if you don't have that, because it is from a UR arc, then you're kind of limited on fire swords. Because if I have a look at fire swords, there are 8, and most of them are event swords. And most are not very good, so kind of limited on that. I mean, this isn't too bad, but you kind of need FCT for that to work. Well, if you don't care too much about the special damage, then just go with a Muramasa or something that you've got that increases physical damage or something. It's up to you, but we have a lot of swords. You should probably know what ones that are good. There's a lot of ones. Arc. Yeah, there are some swords that I don't have because I forgot to really get them. If I have a look at Arc Ether, was it this one? Yeah, I just didn't favor it. Boost fire attack damage based on number of debuffs on enemies. Could be good, yeah. But you need debuffs for that to work, otherwise it's going to do nothing. So that is a specific build, kind of. If you want to go for just spamming skills and you can't really inflict debuffs, it's not a good option. I need these arcs at 100%. It's bothering me that not everything is 100% yet. Okay, let's go back in. So, armors, different story. Obviously his paid armor is probably going to be his best one, but it doesn't increase damage. But we don't really have that many good armors. He can only equip armor, he can't equip cloths or robes. Unless you want to put on equip skills that makes him equip a cloth or something. So basically equip any good armor that you got. Like obviously this one's going to be good, but increases rate of attracting enemy attention, so you may not want that. Any other good armors? I mean, this one's decent if you want to take less physical damage, but I think that's from a UR, isn't it? The Earth one. There's not much else, is there, really? Because there isn't really any good... I mean, you could put this on if you want to put on God Mimicry and get more LCT speed. It could be a good option. Boost movement speed is actually very good because he's going to need movement speed. He definitely is. It's quite important. So there's those options. Now accessories, love accessories because we don't have to choose. We're not forced to use a specific one because we just use anything. So for accessories, he's fire. I should close this. He is fire. So for that reason, and he's using a sword, so we've got good options here. Mint Frill Relief is actually going to be perfect because he does need movement speed. Now also increases skill damage, so it's kind of perfect. And this one too. Yeah, I think Stahn's paid is definitely the best one, but they're all good, really. I think this accessory is pretty good. Wow. What is his earth resistance going to be? Yeah, you could put a Godforge on, but I like having more damage cap because it's even more damage. You know, it is better, but not in all scenarios. I might use this accessory. Is there anything else? I don't really think so. Not really. I mean, if you want to put that on, you could, but that's got to be specific against bosses. Yeah, a lot of people probably free to play, it's understandable, really. So I'm going to go with this build for the moment. I don't know if I'll change it, but this seems good. More damage, movement speed, less damage taken, nullify criticals, continuous haste, more damage cap, break. Pretty good. And we're going to try him out in a minute. That's a lot of strength. That's because of his traits too, and attack up max and fighting spirit max. Pretty good. So what's my plan? Well, I'm going to do the first test, and that's going to be with Council 10. I'll go over arcs soon, but I'm going to try and focus on one thing at a time. Yeah, because that's always a problem, is when you use free crystals or you get the unit early, but you kind of want the paid equipment, but you don't want to summon because you have no reason to summon anymore. Well, I can't say who's better, really, because I haven't tested them yet, and they both seem good. Like, here's what I think at the moment. I think Stahn is probably going to be better for specific content, like, he's better for hitting enemies that are weak to fire, specifically. But Luke, he can equip Trishula, and he has quite a lot of damage, so he could be used in even more content than the other unit. That's what I think so far, but I can't really say who's better. I just think when you're talking about who is the better unit, it's always a argument of one might not be better, they might just be better at a specific thing, you know. Okay, let's try them out. Yeah, they're trying to fix the problem with Android. It's only specific devices, certain devices. Hopefully that's soon. So, let's use Council 10, so we get all the skill stocks, and I'm looking forward to this. So his base skill stocks are going to be 1 lower, so his base skill stocks are going to be 5, 3, and 2, which is okay. It's not bad. But you could put on skill stock skills if you want to, which I might do. So let's try out these skills. So skill 1 is going to be a long range. Can it be used anywhere is the question I want to know. Hopefully yes. Seems like it. Okay. So the question is, how fast can you spam these skills? I want to know. Very fast. Okay, a bit too fast. Okay, what about skill 2 is gonna be interesting, because watch how fast it is. If it can be spammed. Okay. They're already break. What? Okay. I didn't expect the boss to break. I really didn't. Okay. Well, they're dead. His break seems pretty good. His break seems pretty good, and I didn't even use a skill 3. Okay, I'm gonna do a small test, but it's not really a proper test. I just want to have a good idea of how much break he's got. Maybe it's not a good idea to do it in this stage. Let's see how much break 1 skill 3 is, okay? Is 1 skill 3 enough to break the boss, yes or no? I'm gonna say probably not. Probably not. No, nowhere near. Is his break on skill 2 better, or is it just because he missed a few hits on this? Okay, his break's actually not... If you look at how much break he's doing on each skill, it's not incredibly good. You see, it's okay. I mean, look at this spam. And he's getting skills back. Okay, I kind of like it already. It's pretty fun. I kind of expected this when I saw his video of how fast his skills were. But now I see it's pretty good. So I might do that one more time. Yeah. He seems pretty good actually. This is just with his base skills and everything. And he's getting SCT back because of one of these skills somewhere. This one. You get 1 SCT stock for a random skill whenever you get an SD level, which randomly happens when you use a skill. It is pretty good, because SCT is always a problem. And look how much earth resistance he's got, 50. It's a bit much. That's because of this accessory, I believe. Yeah. That's still funny though. But there's a problem in he's going to be weak to any Amelia units in arena that you're fighting, so that's a problem to think about. But as long as you're not fighting Amelia in arena, it's not a problem, is it? I'm really looking forward to test him out in arena. I want to build him full damage, similar to Lagraine or Varn, but he can't equip he can only equip a sword, he can't equip anything else, so that means he can't put an axe on or something, but should be okay. I think his best damage potential, well, his best damage arc sword for arena is going to be Katsuchi. Yeah. Let's try him out one more time, but this time I'm going to try out his special skill and awaken him a few times, so it actually does something. Well, there are a lot of exchange tickets. It kind of, once you go into it, it's a bit confusing to understand because there are so many different tickets. But the one that we get for free for a unit is just a normal ticket you use in the gacha, and you get a random unit, which we've gotten before in previous collabs. But the unit trade ticket that you trade for a unit requires you to do the step gacha for paid crystals, so don't worry about that unless you want to do it. Most people wouldn't, because it's a lot. 30,000 paid crystals is just a lot, but sometimes it's necessary. His defense is actually not bad too, getting some pretty good stats on here. Let's try out his special. I don't expect it to do much, but actually shouldn't be that bad. And then we'll try out the other units soon, because I haven't tried them yet. So, it is against a single enemy. None of them have... Yeah, let's just use it. It's not going to hit damage cap, I expect, but it should be okay. Yeah, it's decent. Okay, 52 hits. It's actually pretty good for a special. Ah. Okay, 52 hits is actually pretty strong. And with his damage cap increases for his special, it could be pretty good. So I need to do more testing with that. That's fun. I like his skills, they're pretty strong. They're pretty fun to use. His normal attacks haven't really used. What are they? 3 hits is pretty basic. Okay, let's... I'm gonna try something different, and I'm gonna focus on his special damage and see if it works well, because it could be pretty good. So, let's try this out. My plan. Maybe I shouldn't do it here, I should do it on a different team. I'm gonna do like one more test, and then we'll go over to the other unit and try him out, and then we'll go back to this unit and try him out with 5th Enhance and do a bunch of stuff. So I'm gonna do a special attack build for him, just with arcs and supports, and see how much damage he can do with his special, because it could be decent. I think that's all I need, right? Yeah. I think that's all I need. So, will this hit damage cap, and how much damage will it do is the question that I want to know the answer to. It should hit damage cap. We should have an idea of how much damage it does. Well, obviously we have a lot of buffs, but still. And it won't be comparable to, like, I think Adele's special is pretty strong. but that's multiple enemies. I could have used a different arc, but for even more damage, but I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, now focus on boss and see how much this does. If it kills the boss, it'll be pretty good. 40k. That should kill. Or be close to it. Okay, not quite. He's hitting 80k damage now, see? Look at this damage. This is not even built. This is just support damage, which kind of is a bit expected because supports add so much. Well, his special damage isn't amazing, so I wouldn't focus on it. I'll do one more test then, just for the sake of stuff. And then we'll try out the other unit. Build him, and I guess we'll look at arcs soon too. So my plan now, I'm just gonna group everyone together and see how fast I can kill everything. Which skill should I use for that? Probably a skill 2, because I think the skill 2 is probably its fastest. One elixir, and we're almost done. Might need some speed or something. There we go. So we're going to spam skill 2 and see how fast everything melts. That was almost very close to being 2 skill 2s. But you can see how pretty good that is, right? It probably would have been 2 skill 3s. That's pretty strong. I'm quite happy with that. Obviously, you wouldn't do that on a normal occasion, but still. I saw a 90k hit. That's pretty strong. Imagine, I say imagine, but we're reaching the point where we can actually reach 100k on a single wheeled unit. It's pretty crazy. So, he seems pretty good so far. Pretty fun, very fast skills. I can see some potential there, especially for places like Arena and any enemy that's weak to fire. Let's try out Luke next. I gotta try out, I just gotta build him, level him up. I really don't want to use another rainbow potion, but kind of don't have much choice, do I? I mean, I still have 3 left afterwards. Even more XP. So let's learn every skill, and we'll try them out. I kind of have an idea of what build I want. Light damage taken. I think a good build for him will be some light sword, and second weapon can be Trishula. If you need it or want it, I think that'd be a good option. Because I don't really know what light weapons we have. I know we have light swords and we got Trisha as a light machine, but not much else, I believe. No light claws. Why would you have a staff? You wouldn't. An axe? I don't think so. We need more units with axe or hammer, because we don't have many of those. We've got like none. 0. Rem was pretty good for that. Extra attack boost 2. You know what would have made sense? Is if you had a skill that increases its damage cap on extra attacks. So every extra attack that he does has like a 2000 more damage cap or something. Would have made sense. Would have made a lot of sense. Because that would be pretty cool. But also kind of weird because one dual wield hit will be 2000 damage cap lower than the other one. But it'll be fun to see at least. I personally feel like all the extra attack damage boost he's getting definitely more than makes up for the damage loss that you get for dual wield. Feels like it. I think this is probably the longest word trait that we've got. It's funny. In the future there'll be like a whole book explaining a trait. Like, you do this, you do that, more damage, random buff names, everywhere. Sword Mega Boost, Light High Drive. I don't think he has Light Drive, but we have that on an SSR arc, so that's fine. Sword Boost. Some people are kind of disappointed that they're just plain sword units. I understand that, because swords are literally used all the time. Yeah, I think an Icy Guardian build for Luke could be pretty good, for sure, but you would have to be fighting enemies that don't have 100 resistance to ice, probably, for that to even do anything. So that's all the skills. Now, look at his element resistances. Resistance, nil, resistance, resistance. It's pretty good. I like seeing these element resistances, they're pretty good. And now we will use equipment, so we can equip a sword, nothing else. That means you need to have some other weapon equip on him if you want Trishula, you need machine equip. So I'm going to need to learn that really soon, because that's pretty important. I did get his paid sword, so I'm going to use that. But other sword options, if I have a look at my light swords, there are a few good ones. Like Zelbius Blade is pretty good for crits. It could be for the Icy Guardian build if you want. I haven't truly tried him out yet, but his extra hits seem pretty good. His trait, it is some confusing stuff going on, but I really need to try out. This one's pretty good too, so that's kind of the two swords. There's this one, but I don't really care about this. It's only to god type enemies though. Don't even know if I want to favour that, because I don't think I'm going to use it. I'm going to go probably with Zelbius, because you get more crit rate. That would probably be for Icy Guardian build, you want more crit rate, if you have that. And there's only like 2 light sword options that I saw, or just use a normal Muramasa or something. Accessories are basically the same. You have the same options really as Stahn, but you can use Equilibrium Sphere, which I love using because it's really good. It's probably the best accessory. And the second accessory can be good question. this one if you want. This could be good. Maybe. Even more resistance that you don't need. I personally would probably equip this. But right now I don't have a machine, so I'm not going to put it on yet, but once I have machine equip learnt, I think this would be good to use for sure. And oh, this could be good too. Yeah, we have more good light options for accessories, so it's a lot easier to choose a good option for that. For now I'm just going to put that on and go with this, but it will change because I really want to try putting on Trishula. 2000 strength. Not as high as Stahn, but still good. Let's try him out. So his skills are not as fast as Stahn, but let's try it out anyway, because I must. He could still hit some good damage. All of the extra attack damage sounds pretty strong. Doesn't really have any slayers. He's only got Sniper Slayer, I think. So, counts of 10. Now he's got 5, 3, 4, so his base stock's 4, 2, 3. Kind of makes sense because his skill 2 is a heal skill, so. Skill 1 is pretty good. Skill 3. Skill 2. I mean, they're not as slow as I thought. See, now I've used enough skills, I can use this over limit buff. And now, I'm basically going to have super armor. That didn't take very long. Okay. Well, it's not bad, actually. Clearly. Oh, that buff doesn't last very long, does it? Because it was already running out. Really? Let me see. How long does it actually last? I want to know more about it. So I want to test it out. He doesn't really need Trishula. Nobody really ever needs Trishula. Just because Trishula's light doesn't mean it's that amazing for him. It just means his normal attacks are going to be light, and it's going to benefit his normal attacks more if you care about that. So one skill, and now he's got the light FOF buff. During next skill used, deal light extra attack damage. Oh, I see. Okay. I'm just thinking about that. The extra attack. It just says deal light extra damage. Wait. If it's as good as I think, I really want to know more about that. So if I use a skill 1, it does 24 hits. Oh wait. I want to test this, because this has some potential I can see to be pretty good. Because that basically means he's going to have that extra attack all the time, right? But how many extra attacks is it? And, you know, that's what I want to know really. So easy way to test this is he doesn't have the buff at the start, right? Only once he uses a skill. So right now he doesn't have it. If I use a skill 1, he does 12 hits. And now 12. He doesn't have the buff yet. I think it's a random chance, isn't it, to get that? Because it did say 24 before. How often does he get the buff though? So we've got over limit buff, it's already running out. Here's the problem. Over limit doesn't last long. It's like 10 seconds or even not that. Okay. See, now over limit is already gone. This is the problem. Over limit's already disappeared. Oh, okay. Here's the wait, hang on. So, are you telling me that the buff he gets for doing extra damage basically doubles his hits? Or am I wrong about that? Because it seemed like that might have been the case. And if that's the case, then that's a bit... That's... Why? Why? I need to try that a few more times to really understand. He's kind of a bit more complicated, I would say, or he's got a lot more going on than Stahn. He's got more buffs and things he needs to do, but that's just what I think at the moment. And I'm still testing him, so... Yeah, this trait too, when units or allies are actually attacking with a skill or magic, chance to give the FOF buff of the attribute. Boost chance based on trait level. Yeah. Deal a powerful extra attack for the attribute when the next skill is used. So I'm gonna test this one more time, and I'm gonna keep an eye on the hit counts of skills, because I don't know if I'm thinking this is a bit too strong, or if I'm just dumb, or not understanding it yet. Could be one of those three. Who knows? So, my plan, I'm going to use a skill 3. It does 32 hits, and now I've got this buff right. Now I use it again. 64 hits. Yeah, that's too many. That's way too many. You see, this is it resisted. What? I don't know what to say. But if all of those hits did reach damage cap, that would be ridiculous damage. But it makes sense that it's not going to. See, look, 32. Give me the FOF buff, and I do it again, and now it's... I didn't hit all those. Can get flinched, which is annoying, but let's fix that. Okay, he's got the buff now, I can... Well, yeah, okay. I think they're both good. I come to that conclusion already that they're both good at their own things. But Luke being able to do 64 hits in a skill 3 is too many. But I know it's because not all those hits are hitting damage cap and blah blah, but now if you add Icy Guardian on top of it, let's see what happens, because I want to know. And I haven't even tried a special skill out yet. I should probably do that. This Awaken. He's more interesting than I thought, because he was a bit complicated to understand at first, but it seems pretty good actually. All of those extra attacks are way too many. And here's the thing, it can apply to literally everyone in your team. So yeah, that exists. It's basically one extra attack hit per hit that you do, I think. Okay, let's try this out. I'm gonna try out what his hits look like now. and his special as well. Because the amount of hits he's doing is pretty ridiculous. He could do pretty well with Combo Master or whatever. So, let's focus on boss and do a skill 3 right now. 47! And that was without the buff too. I want the buff. Give me the buff, please. I need it. There it is. Now watch this. Why did the numbers disappear? Is it because I was doing too many hits that the game just gave up and stopped counting? Is that what happens? Because if so, that's just funny. Yeah, it's a random chance. It's not always going to happen, but I really want that buff back. It's not going to give it to me. Okay, well, I'm going to do that again because I didn't really get to see that properly. I didn't even use a special. Yeah, he does seem like there's some potential I'm seeing on this unit as well as the other unit. They both have potential to be very strong, so I'm kind of surprised. Let's do that again. I want to see how many hits his extra attack does on his skill 3. So right now it's 45. Now I've got the buff. No, I got flinched. I'm trying to make it so the combo ends and then I'll use the skill. There you go, now use it. 74 and they're almost dead already. Okay. This is a bit strong. I kinda like it. But the problem I'm seeing is that it's random, number 1. And number 2, he's going to need a lot of damage to be able to hit damage cap, and I don't think he's going to be able to hit damage cap on all of his extra attacks, but if he could, it would be way too strong. You could see, imagine, well, he gets that buff, if you read his trait 2, when unit or allies are actually attacking with a magic or skill, then chance to give the FOF buff of the attributes. That's basically what's doing so many hits. And here's the fun thing, it applies to everyone in your team. So I have to test that now too. I'm testing that because that is funny. Who should I test it on? Good question. I don't know, because if it's someone like Adele, it's probably going to be killing everything before I can even get the buff, but I'll try it, I guess. So, that's whatever. Yeah, if I just do this, right, and see what happens, but I need honey elixir. You know what? Screw that, I'm just gonna use the Council of 10 and remove this for now, because I don't want him to do damage, and we'll see what this does. Pseudo Trish, I mean, I don't know. So my plan is I want to get the FOF buff on Adele and use a skill 3 and see how much damage it does. So give me the buff. I might kill everyone before I get the buff though, so... See, he's got the buff and I don't. Give me the buff. This may take a few tries. I think I just want to understand how this works. I didn't see Adele get the buff once there. So, I don't know if his trait increases at 5th enhance. It might. But I'm going to give this a few tries and see what happens. Yeah, I could, but I kind of want to test it on a strong unit to see how good it actually is on a good unit, you know, like... You see I'm using a skill and he's not actually getting the buff yet. I haven't seen him get the buff once. He hasn't gotten the buff one time. Yeah, he's killing things. I'm gonna try someone else then. But it doesn't seem that common, at least. Here's what I'm thinking. What if it's a higher chance to get the buff? Actually, I know, I understand. I think it's a chance to get the buff per hit, right? That's why Adele isn't getting the buff, because he's single wield. Makes sense. So I need to use a dual wield unit, and who would I use for that? Levi, because I haven't used him in a while, and he's got plus 16. Might as well try it out. Well, it says, I don't know. It says here when unit or allies. Give unit. See, actually, here's what I'm thinking. What if it's when allies attack, you have a chance to give Luke the buff? That would make a lot of sense. That would make the most sense. I think that's what it means. Because when unit or allies are actually attacking, chance to give unit FOF buff. So it says chance to give unit. I don't know, I'm just gonna test it out. I have to test it because I want to. I mean, that makes sense now I think about it, yeah. Giving Luke an extra attack attribute of a different element makes sense. I'm just going to keep an eye on it. So if I use a skill, does anyone get a buff? I know what it looks like, I think. Who is getting a buff? And when? Nobody's getting a buff yet. I'm concerned. Because it's not happening. Things are still dying. Oh, there you go. So now Luke has the buff for Earth. There you go. That's how things work. And now if I use his skill, he's going to do extra Earth damage now. That's what I wanted to know. I guess... But here's the thing. Can multiple element buffs stack? Probably not. But imagine this. Imagine you had like multiple different elements in your team, and they could all stack the buffs, and he had like many FOF buffs for different elements. That's not going to be the case. That would be ridiculous. Probably because it's only one buff that can be active. I don't know. I want to see if that works, but I am going to guess that's probably going to overwrite it because it's still an FOF buff, but it's a different element. Lenius would be pretty good for that. Yeah. Tell you what, I'm going to be interesting. I'm going to try out just to test. The best test to do is, if I want to test the buffs, I just put on where's the accessory. Because I want to know if the buffs can stack. So, for that reason, I'm just going to use Lenius then, and see if that works for multiple elements. Maybe. I mean, You could try and focus on it, or you could just not worry about it at all. Let me just equip a bunch of skills on... I think I've got most of them already. Good enough. I'm going to test this. So I'm going to focus on doing one element. Yeah, it is quite interesting. I like new mechanics that are pretty fun like this. Not gonna lie. But I just want to see if he can have multiple FOF buffs active of different elements. But I know the answer to that before I start is going to be a no. And it's just going to overwrite it with a different element. I know that's going to happen, but I want to confirm it, just so I'm not talking out of my stupid mouth. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. Everything's going to die. I should probably do a different stage that is not this stage. I know. I'm not going to do this stage anymore. I'm going to do a different stage. He's got the buff, but things are dying. Yeah, I'm going to do a different stage. I can't really showcase it here. Which stage? It's Leorg's stage, probably. If I remember where that is. I don't. Because I really want to test it out. Because I don't know if Trisha applies to extra attacks, so they ignore it too. Now, which stage is Leorg? I don't remember. Because I don't know, but he's a good test. Probably a good test. Or I can just go over to a god type stage. This one I could... Which one was that? I don't remember. I guess it doesn't matter which stage it... Oh, I could do the, I don't know what I should do. The... high speed mode stage. That's good enough. So, I expect to know what's going to happen, but let's try it. So, I'm going to use an element until I see the buff pop up. There's the ice one, and then I'm going to try and use different elements. So it's got ice FOF right now. We can't use skills, so it's going to stay there. Then I'm going to use a different element, and now it is changed to fire. So there you go. That's all you need to know. Because I imagined if they could stack, it would be dumb. Because, yeah, it would break everything. It's understandable, but makes sense. Impacts, you could, but what's the point? Because they only apply to normal attacks. I guess we'll try them out one more time. I still haven't used a special yet, so I'm going to need to do that. Because if you look, deal a powerful extra attack of the attribute when the next skill is used, so it's only applies to skills, and it's not going to apply to a special or anything else. So, yeah, makes sense. There is a limit to how powerful a unit can be. Makes sense. I still have that stupid accessory that I should remove because I don't need that anymore. I'm gonna do one more test with a special and, well, maybe another one, I don't know. I don't expect his special to do very well. So basically, yeah, well, that's no problem really. You can just put on honey elixir or apple pie and purple orb and you're set. You're done. That's all you need. I know most people probably won't have that, but it was more accessible when the reruns came, and more people should have it than before. So, I'm gonna try out his special. I don't expect it to do very much. I wish he had true dual wield, but whatever. So it's gonna be against all enemies, then a single enemy, then all enemies. Just to waste time. I mean, 60 hits. It's not terrible, but nothing exciting. Now he's got the buff, I can use skill 3. Don't flinch me. 63 hits. Wow. I just love the extra attacks doing so much. Well, I think that's all I can really do for him, for now, at least, at 4th enhance. Maybe there'll be a difference at 5th enhance, who knows. I'm gonna know soon in the future. Yeah, I feel like it's just a waste of time. It could have just been an AoE, and that's it, but they decided to add in the extra time of saying, oh, it's an AoE, and now it's single target, and now it's against all enemies again. Nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to level up the arks, because I haven't done that, but I can only level up one, so I choose this one. Because I think this one is better. Well, they're both decent. Yeah, it may take a few days for them to update it. They might have made a new post, I don't know. I checked a few hours ago and they said, oh, it's a problem that may take some time. It's kind of annoying because I can't use my main phone to play on it right now. Well, I don't know. I think they're both fun. I mean, Luke is better than I expected, because of his extra attacks are pretty crazy, and Stahn is just overall very fast DPS and just has potential for arena, so... Well, yeah, Swordian Might... Non-attribute would probably be an attribute. The name kind of is confusing, but it doesn't really make sense that you would non-attribute being an attribute. But I think if you would have a non-attribute sword, it would probably increase the non-attribute damage, but that would make sense, but it should do that. I think Swordian Might is the best skill, at least out of these two arcs. Swordian Might has to be the best skill, learnable. And Fire Drive is pretty good too, because we don't have that. Well, we have it now. Pretty good arc. I can't level up anymore because I'm broke. Ran out of souls. I need to collect more souls. I guess I can level up the other one a bit. Please turn to red souls, because I've got a lot of those. I think this skill's going to be good, but I don't know how. If it's worth putting on, it might be. Yeah, I think this banner is a very good banner to pull on, but you also got to be careful of if you want to save for part 2, because part 2 might have an incredibly broken unit, but I'm not expecting that. But what I would recommend for most people is to do a few summons on part 1 if you have the spare crystals to do so, because if you do a few 10 pulls, you're most likely going to get something, at least one thing, because the chances are pretty good on this one, since there are 4 new things you could get. But if you don't have many crystals, probably just wait, because this banner is still going to be up when part 2 comes out, and then you can decide who you want, decide which banner to pull in. But for beginner players, this banner is going to be the best one to pull on, because there's so much in here you can get. There's 2 units. The only problem is you got the ticket, which you get a guaranteed ticket from a random unit from one of these tickets. It could be one of the 2 units, and then you could get a dupe of that unit from this banner, one of these banners. So that could be incredibly annoying. So what should I do next? Well, probably enhance both units to 5th enhance right now, because I can't level up these anymore, and you can't really test an arc really. I mean, you can, but not much. Let's go back to Stahn and use him first, and try him out with 5th enhance and see what he does. Yep, I do have enough materials to do all of these, I believe. A lot of materials. So, trait, increased trait, more damage, cap and damage, great stuff. Fire attack raise 3, very nice. Even more damage. I think his damage is going to be pretty high. The only problem is if you're up against enemies that don't have a fire weakness, if they're not weak to fire, then you're not going to do that much. Well, you're going to do 20,000 damage cap less, basically. So, I still think it's going to be good against enemies that don't have fire weakness. Because that basically means he's going to do like 60,000 instead of 80,000. It's a big difference. Last 3 skills. More SC. I wonder when they're gonna add 6 enhance. I hope it's not soon. I hope it's a long time away, because having even more materials to farm is just gonna be painful, and all of the 5th enhance units being not as good is gonna feel terrible. He's got a lot of stats. His stats are pretty good. Not gonna lie. 3,000 strength, 2,000 defense, almost 11,000 HP with just base skills is amazing. Pretty good. So, what was the difference with 5th enhance? Well, upgraded trait and skills, and that's really it. I guess we'll try him out again. I just need to charge my headset before it dies terribly. I've been killing it. Okay, so go back to the same stage and try them out. 13,000 HP, pretty good. So let's use Council 10. So the problem is, none of them are weak to fire here. So he's gonna not do as much damage as he should be doing. Yeah, look at that skill 2 though, it's so good. Okay, so you can see he's gradually doing more damage the more skills he uses. For that reason, having skill stocks and ways to get more SCT is going to be pretty good and pretty useful for him. But to help him out a little bit, he would need something like something to lower the enemy fire resistance. And to do just that, all you need is Theopolis or something, but that would probably make him hit damage cap, just that alone. So, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do something else, which is... maybe Berseria does have it. If I just put on Giga Weakness or something. Stop beeping. Then it should be good enough. Giga Weak. That's good enough. And now you can see the damage difference. Probably going to be quite a lot higher, I expect. And it's going to have 20,000 more damage caps, pretty good. But could be a problem, so I'm not sure how I think about that yet. So I'm just going to spam skills. He should be doing more now. Skill 2, go. Yeah, you look at that. Skill 2. You're not hitting damage cap yet, but he's getting there. Getting somewhere. Man. So I think that was pretty good, considering he had no slayers. Has no slayers. But he was hitting weakness. And gradually doing more damage the more skills he was using. I'll try him out a few more times. Well, Adele, I think Adele's still better, not gonna lie. Definitely for sure, because he's, you know how good he is, he's amazing. He's probably one of the best units in the game. Yeah. Fire damage, 45%, 45% light damage, 25,000 damage cap. See, Stahn doesn't have flinch resistance, I believe. He doesn't have super armor, but he's got 80% more physical damage. But Adele only has 45% on his trait, so that's one thing to note. I really want to try Stahn in Arena as a unit like Vane or Lagrange, because they can spam their skill 1. I want to build him like that in Arena and just build him full damage with Megalodon and spam skill 1 as much as I can. He should do a lot, but I don't know. It sounds like it would be good. And he can also nullify criticals, so he's going to have good survivability in Arena. It sounds like it. So, I think they're both good. I'm going to try them out a few more times. Just one more time, I guess. I mean, I've done most of the testing. I personally feel like Luke has more to test. At least, that's what it feels like so far. I've tested him more. Also, the problem is, his skill 2 and skill 3 requires him to get close to the enemy. He doesn't have any close the gap skills. Skill 2 has some lunge to it. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think that was without them being weak to fire as well. Imagine if he had something in his kit to like decrease fire resistance. If his skill 3 had a chance to decrease fire resistance or something, it would have been amazing, but how to work around that. So I think I can't really test much more on him unless I fully build him, which would take some time, so I can't really do that yet. I really want to do it, but amazing. 2,000 more free crystals. So what do I think about him so far? Well, it's difficult to say because he's not fully built, but with base skills and everything that I have on him, he's still doing pretty good damage. He doesn't have any slayers, but he's got a lot of damage ups, and I can see the potential of doing a lot of damage and being a pretty good DPS in general. Like, here's what I'm thinking, is he could be a unit required for the time trial that's coming up because he has such high DPS. So that's something you could consider if you care about time trials or anything at all. Well, most people, the first thing they say when they come in is, how good is this unit? Or do they compare to the best unit in the game? I know it happens a lot. See ya. The stream will be uploaded as a video, so anyone can watch it later on. But anyways, what I think of these units, I think they're both good in their own ways, but I can't really give a definite answer because I haven't fully built them to 90 SC and everything yet, but with their base skills, they're both pretty good. I've still got to test out Luke a bit more, so let's do that next, I guess. Got to get him to 5th Enhance now. It's painful using all these materials, but I can get him back. So, let's see what traits he gets from 5th Enhance. Probably not the trait 2, it's probably trait 1 only, and trait 2 doesn't change. But trait 2 being increased would have been nice. Light attack raise 3. Yeah, just trait 1 I believe. Yeah, trait 2 doesn't change, so it doesn't increase the chance further. Guess that's fine. Now it's going to do more damage. What I think so far is Luke doesn't really look like an arena unit, but he does seem like he has some potential with like bosses and stuff, and doing a lot of damage. More damage than I thought. Yeah, because I did notice that Adele kind of needed a lot of damage skills to be able to hit damage cap on certain stages. Like in the previous time trial that happened, I used Adele and I needed to use a lot of damage skills for him to even do well. And when he didn't have those damage skills, he did terribly. And once I put all damage skills on him, it basically increased my time by a whole minute. It was pretty good. That's everything. Let's try him out. I'm still not going to go for the paid accessory for Luke because I don't think it's worth getting. Definitely not. The good thing about Adele though is he can use both elements, but only one at a time. But he's good at both is the thing. Damage cap is too high. That's what I think. Damage cap, ridiculous. So let's try this out. We should do better than last time, obviously. I got the buff already. Use skill 2 this time. Why don't the numbers appear? That's my question. Sometimes the numbers just don't appear. That's the one thing I want to happen. It feels like his skill, both of the units' skill 3s have a little bit of pull. Because they're all grouped together right now. Okay. How many hits is this going to do? No, never mind, he's dead. He didn't even get a chance to use all of those hits. Huh. Well, by the looks of it, it seems like Luke's doing more damage because of the FOF buff. Which is... I didn't expect that. Because Stahn has very fast skills. I'll try it again. I didn't even use the overlimit buff, but I guess it's not really important, is it? Yeah, they're all pulled in, you see. They all pulled in now in a group. And I can use a skill 3 and look how many hits this does. 64 hits. Ridiculous. Yeah, I think this is pretty fun. He's not hitting damage cap, the damage seems pretty low, I know. But that's because he doesn't have any slayers. Well, he's got one, but he's doesn't have slayer damage to these enemies. And he's not hitting weak attribute either. And it's just base skills. So there's a lot of room for improvement here. But the potential's there, I see it. Now, to make it a lot easier, I'm gonna try this. This is gonna be good. I want to know if it's possible to use one skill 3 to kill everything. So to do that, I need to use skill 1s until I get the buff. Give me the buff. There you go, now I use... Well, I go over here first. I can use the obelisk. And then I'll use a skill 3. Oh, they almost all died. Very close. 64 hits. 64 hits with that damage is crazy. It's pretty good. I don't even know how much damage that did. How much was that? Like, over 2 mil damage that was in that one skill 3. That's pretty crazy. Now, the question is, can Stahn do that as well? Or not? Probably not, is my guess. I'll just do the same thing. Yeah, his skills are better than I thought because he's got so many hits. It's pretty good. So let's use a cast of 10. I don't really need to do any setup for this. I just gotta use skills. There we go. Is this gonna do more or less damage than Luke's one? Probably less because there's no extra hits. Yeah. A bit less, but expected. It's probably definitely faster though, right? I kind of want to test out how his skills combo into each other, but I'll do one more test then. I don't know how many tests I'm going to do. It's fun. I could try out Luke's special damage. I haven't really tried that properly. So I think Stahn's skill 2 is his best skill, probably, because of this reason. Okay. I don't know why it's 32. It's a weird number. I could try it with Eldravana, and it would hit probably over 90k now. Maybe that'll be enough. But here's the thing, it's not always about how much damage one skill can do. It's about the DPS of the skills. Like, Adele's skill 1 you can spam so fast that it's just amazing. The DPS. See how fast that is? You could just spam that and it melts enemies really fast. It's pretty fun. I like both units, not gonna lie, I think they're both good. But what else can I do? Well, I could try and build them fully, maybe. Let me try them one more time, see what his damage can be like. What arc would I use? Good question, because there isn't really, I mean, Amaterasu's good for light, but it's not really, it's only 15% light attack damage. I'll use it anyway. I also want to learn machine equip and stuff, but probably do that later. So this is his damage without the FOF buff. It is less. But it's still good though. It's still not bad. See, the FOF buff makes a big difference. Because it basically doubles the damage. Huh. Are the extra attacks hitting damage cap now? Can't tell. But maybe if I added XBet, it would. Maybe. Now I have the buff, I can use Theopolis. Not even close enough though. Oh. Oh. That was too many hits. That was too much damage. That was too much damage. I think every single hit right there hit damage cap. I think it looked like it did, and that is 39,200 basically. If I do that, times it by 91, that is 3.5 mil. That's not right, that can't be right, that's wrong. That's too good. I know probably comboed into some hits, maybe. Yeah. Probably XBet did some normal attacks and ruined that for me. Yeah, definitely. But still. 3 mil damage is too much. Obviously this is with 0 skills learnt too. So imagine what you could do with just him and all the skills learnt for damage. And you just spam the skills. Could be ridiculous damage, but the only problem I'm seeing is you kind of have to pay attention to when you get this FOF buff. Because what you want to do ideally is try and use skill 1 and skill 2s first of all, until you get that buff and then use a skill 3. That's the best thing to do, but that means you can't just mindlessly spam the skill button. You have to pay attention if you want the maximum damage to make sure to get it on the skill 3. So it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. Yeah, getting both units, pretty lucky. They're both pretty good. The arks are pretty good too. Or anything else I can do right now? I don't know. I mean, I could start building them properly, but should I? I don't know. I mean, because if I do that, it's probably going to take like an hour or 2 hours or so. But I really do want to do that. But I still got to get some work done. I could build them both at the same time. Always hoping for a rainbow potion from that. I guess I can start teaching him a few things. At least I can have a look at the important skills that I would recommend for some of those. I don't think so. I mean, sometimes they don't give many points in an event, but I was getting a few hundred from this stage, but you get the most points from this extra challenge stage. From this stage, I get 4,000 points. I haven't tried the stage yet with both units, so it should be 200%, but I haven't actually been in there yet. I guess I could do that. %, yeah. They both give 50% event points, so that's right. 50% and 50% and then another 20. Yeah. Well, I'm not really going to do any of those stages, I'm just going to try and build them a bit, I guess. So, what I would do for building them, at least the important skills I can think of. For Stahn, it's kind of a bit difficult, I think, maybe. But I know 100% for Luke I want machine equip with machine boost and high boost. I don't know. I mean, 50% is still enough if you just farm it enough anyway, which easy enough if you spend the time on it. What would I learn? I mean, Perfects of God for Fire Mega Drive is a no-brainer, isn't it? You definitely want that. If you got it, it's pretty good. For Stahn, but for Luke, actually, does he have Giant Killing 2? I don't think so. He's got Combo Master 2 already. Okay, he doesn't have Giant Killing 2. I personally really like Giant Killing 2, I think it's great. So that would probably be one for more damage against bosses specifically. Would be great. Yeah, I'm hoping, always hoping for compensation, but whatever they give is what it is. I mean, can't really complain. I mean, people complain anyway, it's what it is. So, machine equip and machine high boosts, definitely want that. I like machine boost skills, they're pretty good. So, I'll just focus on doing some of those. I wonder what the compensation would be. Most of the time it's just a few hundred crystals. I'm not going to complain about that. It's something. I'm fine with those. Like, I think they gave 1,000 free crystals or something from one of them. I need to have someone on the team, like, that can instantly clear this in one skill, like a Roy, don't I? Unless I had enough skills, stocks and stuff. Also means I need to learn Purple Orb and Honey Elixir, and yeah, that's a problem. There's a problem. If you're going for an SCT build on Luke, he needs a lot of stuff. He needs Purple Orb, well, Purple Orb and Honey Elixir and Goddess Kiss. Those 3 skills are super expensive. It takes up a lot of SC. In your dreams, 2 temple tickets, they would never do that. Maybe like 2 single tickets, yeah, definitely. I would probably say any new banner that comes out is probably worth summoning on, but this part 1 banner in particular is definitely worth going for. You could try and re-roll if you really want to. There's a lot of information about that on Discord chats and stuff. Berserker, skill 1 breakthrough, extra attack boost. Berserker maybe, or not. What would I have on Stahn? Oh yeah, wait. The double-hander boost you could put on Stahn because he's got double-hander boost 2. That's going to be even more damage and damage cap. Fair enough. We all need to do some grinding. So, where's machine boosts? Pirate's Feast could be good too. I mean, I only really use that for multiplayer. I like Spirit Breath, but I know some of them already have it. Piercing, Megalodon, yeah. Megalodon on Stahn is what I want to have, but not yet. Honey Elixir. See, I'm not sure what my full build is going to be yet. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to fully build both units in this stream because it's going to take too long. I'm still hoping for a near rerun. That's the one collab rerun that I want the most. Maybe once they release the anime next year. They're releasing it in January, so there's a possible near rerun that they could do because the anime is releasing, but I don't think so. Do I want to do anything else? I mean, I don't want to sit here learning skills because it's boring for people to see. So maybe I'll just go into arena and try out Stahn without any skills because I'm dumb, but just because I want to have an idea. A small idea of how it's going to do in arena. So I'm going to do that. Best way to do that is just to use Jen and replace you for so this is not going to be a good showcase, but I want to test what his damage would be like without all the damage skills that I would normally put on a unit, because if they're still decent damage, could be good, you know, but I know I shouldn't be doing this because it's gonna go horribly wrong and not work. Well, I personally like this collab. I've heard that some people are disappointed with this collab. He's got piercing as well. Perfect. But I don't really have any complaints about this collab so far, other than all these two units are just plain sword units. That's the only really complaint that I have, but when you try them out, they're actually pretty fun, and then you kind of forget about the fact that they use a sword, and you realize, oh, since they have a sword, since they require a sword, it makes it a lot easier to use them. So, it's not that bad. I don't expect Stahn to do very much here, but he should be able to do at least a little bit of damage, even if it's not enough. Right. Kinda need fish mimicry for sure. Well, it's raining. Also, this arc is pretty good for arena too. But let me just turn him into a fish, because that's pretty important. I could get some XP, but do that later. Fish time. It was you. What can you learn? I don't know. What sword boost does he have? I'm just going to put that on. To make it easier, just put on Roy, because why not? Because I don't know about you, but I personally like collabs when I know more about the collab itself. Like, the Devil May Cry collabs and Nier collabs are games that I actually play. So they're more exciting, but for example, the Dr. Stone collab was probably one of the best collabs because it's got so much unique stuff in. I have a lot of useful units and stuff in too, but that was pretty good because it had a lot of unique stuff in, even though I don't know anything about the anime itself. It was still a very good collab, and I would like to see it again. Yeah, they're still trying to fix the game at the moment, but it may take some time. They need to release another update for it to work properly. So, you're gonna have to try to play the game on Steam or somewhere else, or just wait. Those are the only options we have right now. Luckily for me, only one of my devices isn't working, so I can play it on Steam and emulator and my older phone. Let's try this out. I know it's going to do terrible, but it's worth it. Or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. Because you can't put on an axe on him, so that arc won't be good. Yeah, a lot of people are asking the same thing, but it's fine. Kind of unfortunate that it has to happen as soon as the collab starts, because that means a lot of people won't be able to play and they kind of want to play. Let's go with this, and I'm not going to battle anyone, I'm only going to spar people. So, who do I spar? Doesn't really matter. So, I don't expect to do very much. Okay. Oh, I see. The travel speed of the skill 1 is pretty slow. You see, you can see it traveling pretty slowly. But it's still pretty strong. Okay. Well, maybe he's not going to be amazing in Arena because it's a bit too slow. I don't know. Because he could probably get flinched out of it. But look at the damage numbers though. $7,000. This is mostly base skills. I haven't fully built him yet, so it could be much better. I don't think it's gonna be as good as a Vayne in Arena with the Grand of Seas arc. Yeah, I think Tales of series is pretty good, but there's way too many games in the series, so they could rerun this collab like a million times and release new units many times. That could be good. I should try attacking a tank team. Because I've only played Tales of Berseria, and it took me 47 hours to finish it. And that's the only game I played, but I have Tales of Arise, but I haven't started it. Okay, you're dead. I'm surprised you died. Obviously he's not going to do much to tanks, right? It's difficult to really see. But I just want to see the damage numbers on a team like something like this. Good thing is, it could probably be strong against Granados. Okay. 1,800. It's not terrible. You know, with base skills, it's actually better than I was thinking it was going to be. The only problem is the skill 1 is too slow. Travel time is too slow. But, hear me out, maybe that means that it can hit even more people on its way there. Potentially. So it can pierce even more enemies because it's slow. But if you get flinched, it's going to screw it up. So... we'll try a few more, but not much else I can do. I don't think Luke is going to be very good for Arena, so I'm not going to try that. So what's the damage? Here's the problem is, by the time the skill 1 reaches Lagrabos, he would have probably already used the skill 3. You can't... Well, when it killed him, it's killing stuff. They're dying. You know, it's not bad. Now I've run out of skill stocks. Okay, well, here's the thing. Things are dying. And this is mostly base skills. I have like 2 skills equipped right now. I have no skills stocks left. Because I don't have Spirit Breath. You see, it's not bad actually, but I personally feel like Vayne is more aimed towards Arena, so he's kind of better, but I was hitting for 8,000 at best there, which is okay without all the skills that I need. It was pretty good. I didn't really pay attention to the nullify criticals taken part, so I don't know how good his survivability is. I guess I could try that. But he's gonna die. If I just battle anyone at all that is using a Lagrabos, and expect to die, but I just want to see the nullify criticals part of it, really. It does kill him fast enough, okay. Well, he was getting hit there, but he was surviving a few of them. Obviously he's dead, so I'm kind of screwed now, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Hmm. It's kind of difficult to see. But I just want to see the nullify criticals at this point. Because imagine if it could be good for countering like a Mikasa. That's pretty good. Okay. Well, you know, I could see this. Could he be good on a defense? Maybe. I don't know. Because he survived that, but that's because he has higher earth resistance. He's got like 50 earth resistance. That's the only reason he's surviving it. There you go, it killed both of them that time. Well, here's the thing, is it's not bad. It's doing enough damage, and he's not even fully built yet. So, I'm kind of happy with that. I'm sure Nightbot will take care of that, and I don't have to do anything, but I'll do it anyway. So, what do I have to say? Well, I'll just go back to my normal team, I think. I think he's pretty good in Arena, but he's not fully built, so I can't really give a judge on it, but I do see a few problems, and he's not as good as, like... This unit is definitely mainly for Arena, he's just perfect for it, because every single skill does have some range to it, and this is pretty fast travel time and everything. His skill 1 travel time is pretty slow, so that's a problem if he gets flinched. Unless it still continues after he's flinched, I don't know, probably not. But that's all the trial I'm going to do for that for now. It's been 2.5 hours of talking non-stop. It's been a lot. Yeah, they show up all the time. It's ridiculous. So, what do I got to say about these units and this part 1 collab so far? Well, there's quite a few things really. Hey. Yeah, the other unit, the unit in part 3 is definitely worth waiting for just in case, because some people might... I think that unit is a pretty popular character, I think. I don't know how good he's going to be. Well, I can't really do an arena guide too much because it's a bit difficult, because you kind of have to look at the specific person's account to decide what they can and can't use. But basically, normal strategy is you need a tank, at least one very strong tank that can survive a lot of hits and take all of the hits at the same time. And I usually have one tank, one healer, and then 2 physical DPS units, or 1 physical DPS and 1 mage. It's up to you really though, because a lot of teams can work, you just got to kind of have a lot of stuff available to build proper teams. It's kind of difficult. Yeah, they're going to try and fix that soon, hopefully. So, part 1. What do I think about this part 1? Well, I think this part 1's pretty exciting, not gonna lie, because it's rare that we ever get a chance to get 2 units and 2 arcs that are new on the same banner, so the probability of getting something new, if you don't have any of these 4 on this banner, is pretty high. So, that's one reason why I think it's worth pulling at least a little bit on this banner, but again, it's up to you. I think all these 2 units, they're both good at their own thing. I like them. I've still got to test them out some more, but Luke is definitely better than I thought he was, because his trait 2 with the FOF buff is kind of ridiculous. If it activates very often, it's pretty strong. And actually, if you go into multiplayer and you have like a team of 4 using this unit, that could be amazing. That could be pretty fun. That would be you could melt bosses like that for sure, because the FOF buff's going to activate more often, because everyone's light, everyone's using light skills. It's going to be amazing. Well, I haven't really tried Luke in Arena, but I don't think he's going to be good in Arena, because I only really ever use long-range physical DPS units in Arena, and he doesn't have any long-range skills in Arena, for Arena. I don't think he's really built for it, in my opinion. I mean, he can heal, so that's good. Maybe if he could be tanky enough, he could be good for Arena, but I just don't see it. Anti-sniper effect, yeah, I get it. Curse nil, yeah. Awaken, there's a few good things here that could be good for Arena, but the only problem is I didn't even try removing these. The only problem is he doesn't have any long-range skills, and that's pretty important, because you can stay, like with Stahn, you can just use his skill 1 and spam it and stay long range and not get hit and use a bunch of skills. So that's pretty good. That's why a lot of units are better, because they have long range skills. They're a lot more useful. I think they're more reliable for auto in Arena, but any units that like this that doesn't have any long range skills aren't really good for doing auto attacks in Arena, so that's really the only reason. But if you're doing like manual play in Arena, if you want, you could try it out. You could put on Trishula and just do a bunch of attacks, and it could be fun. It could be pretty good, but I don't know. I'm gonna need to do more testing with these 2 units, and I have to build them up properly to really understand their full potential, but that's gonna take some time. But with all the testing I've got done in this stream, I think they're both good at their own thing. They both seem strong. But obviously, I think Stahn could be a good hybrid tank / DPS. Like, we've got a few of those, like Adele and Shift Rollins. They're pretty good because they can survive hits and do a lot of damage. Kind of similar, but he doesn't have super armor. Nullify criticals, though. I could see some potential with that. I might try to build him in my defense in Arena, but I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Anyways, there's a lot of stuff to do with this. Yeah, I'm just about going to end the stream now, because I think I've covered everything, and I need a break. So, just going to quickly mention that I think this part 1 is pretty fun, and there are definitely some valuable things here. The arcs are definitely on the good end, I would say. They're not amazing, like they're not something you must have, but they're good to have. Because anything with like a unique skill like Sword of Might that can stack with other damage skills are incredibly useful, and this could be a skill you can put on fire units and increases damage even more for Arena if you want. That could be a good option, but yeah. I think that's all I can say about this, and I can't really talk any more than I have, because I talk too much. It's a problem. For these streams only, the only time I ever talk this much. But anyways, that's all I can say, I think. Just enjoy this collab, use all your tickets, be smart with where you use your crystals, because there is going to be a part 2 coming up in like a week from now, and I'll be back for part 2 next week. I don't know if it's a day earlier or something, it seems like the case. And hopefully people are enjoying these thumbnails, because I personally enjoyed making this thumbnail. I thought it was pretty good. Better quality at least, more designing thumbnail. But anyway, enough talking from me. You can watch this stream as a video later on, because it's going to be uploaded. I will make the timestamps later on today, and you can just check those out if you would like, because I did a lot of stuff in this stream to cover both units. So I'll see you in a week from now, I think, hopefully. So thanks for being here, and bye. It's been about 3 hours. I need a break. Enjoy this collab.